Hi, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Carnivore Evolution. Today, we have a special guest. We're going to be speaking to Bill today, and Bill's going to be telling us everything about his carnivore journey. So, Bill, how are you today, sir?
I'm very, very well, Mark. It's very, very good to see you. Hope the
Amazing.
school's all right.
Yeah, everything's great. So, yeah,
Yeah.
I seen your you post something up on Facebook there about 2 or 3 weeks ago, and I was absolutely amazed. And I want to talk everything carnivore very, very shortly. But I want to speak before that. What were you actually doing before you came across carnivore?
What was it? What do you mean? Sort of lifestyle
Yeah,
way?
lifestyle, like fitness, training, like nutrition, all that kind of stuff.
I was doing absolutely nothing, Mark. I dabbled in doing bits of fitness and stuff like that, but I've been fat for most of my life. I would say for 60 years. I'm 65 now. Uh, so I often, I used to go to the gym, try and lose a bit of weight every now and again, but nothing ever worked. My
Mm,
lifestyle was based around drinking and eating a lot, really, and that's about it.
mm,
I never really bothered about, thinking how healthy I was, or if I was getting the right nutrition, or what it was doing to my body. Uh, Looking back, I realized I was completely addicted to sugar,
mm,
and completely addicted to carbs, and that's what I used to fill myself up with.
mm, mm.
Like I said, my main thing was drinking, but I gave up drinking 7 years ago. It is now.
Yeah.
My whole social life, everything revolved around drinking and eating. We'd go out with friends, or we'd go to their houses, and we'd all get together, few pints, something to eat, and it's that I realised in the end that my social life was actually killing me.
Mm, mm.
So uh, the first thing I did was stop drinking 7 years ago. And then I attempted to lose some weight. I thought I've cracked the drinking. It's difficult to stop drinking when I would say I was like, I was definitely an alcoholic, a functioning alcoholic, you would call it, I suppose. So that was quite difficult to give up, but I did it. But I found that I was still eating an awful lot, completely addicted to sugar when you've got no drink to turn on, filling your face with Mars bars and stuff like that.
Mm.
Uh, without any thought about what I was doing. Anyway, after I gave up drinking, I thought it's about time I did something. If I don't watch what I do, I'm going to end up dead quite soon. Uh, and it's quite close to me because I work in the funeral business. So I see it all the time. People of my age, dead,
Mm.
got to do something. So I looked into dieting originally with calorie counting, which just doesn't work.
Mm.
Uh, it just went on and on. Up until about 3 years ago, I started looking seriously into it, and I tried fasting. I was watching a guy on YouTube called Sten Ekberg. Have you ever seen him?
Yes, I have, yeah.
He really, really explains things in a basic language in a way that I could understand.
Mm.
And that was the first time I'd heard about hormones affecting people's weight. And the main thing he talked about was insulin and what insulin does and how it locks away the fat so that you can't use it. And yeah, so I thought it was really, really, really interesting. I looked into it a bit further. I tried fasting, but of course I was still eating carbohydrates, and I found that you're physically starving yourself because if you're eating carbohydrates, you're not getting all the nutrients in which your body requires.
Exactly, yeah.
And so you're spending sort of a day, 2 days without anything at all, and you're depleted of these nutrients in the first place.
Mm.
So it's really, really difficult. So I gave that up. With the calories, I find that it's just hard. It's just hard counting calories because it doesn't work.
Mm.
It really doesn't work. I ended up with 3 years ago. I found a lump in my neck. It was right there. I went to the doctors who sent me to the hospital, and it was diagnosed as a Wharton's tumour. And it was about the size of a golf ball. It looked like a big goiter around the side of my neck. So after I was diagnosed with that at the hospital, they said, you're going to have to go and get it cut out. It doesn't go away. You've got to go for a surgery and have it cut out. So that was in the November the 11th, 2022. I remember the day well because when I went to the hospital to get my diagnosis, it's November the 11th. It was Remembrance Day, and on the big television screen in the hospital, they were playing The Last Post, and I was thinking, oh no, I hope this isn't like a sign. Am I good? Oh, awful. It's an awful place to be in the first place in a cancer ward. The doctor saw me and said, you've got a tumour, we can cut it out, and that'll be the end of that. You just got to wait for the hospital to get in touch and they'll do it. Great. The thing I was most miffed about when I was at the hospital wasn't the fact that I had a tumour. Strangely, I know it sounds odd, but when I stood on the scales and saw how much I weighed, I thought, oh my God, it frightened the life out of me, Oh, I've got to do something about it, which is when I started looking at Sten's work on fasting and stuff like that. When you go onto YouTube, I suppose, as you know, the algorithm sends other stuff through. And one of the videos that came through was Dr. Ken Berry, who was advocating the carnivore lifestyle. And I looked at the video and I thought, no, it really doesn't sound right to me. So I just skipped over it. A couple of months skipped over it, and it kept coming up. So one day I thought, I'm going to watch and see what he's got to say. And it was like a light bulb moment. It all fitted in. After what Dr. Ekberg had said, and then Dr. Berry, and of course I started consuming lots and lots and lots of videos. All my research is done on YouTube. I think YouTube is fantastic for this, for keeping people informed. For me, it was. And I've watched hours and hours and hours. And eventually, in the February of 2023, I started Carnivore full time.
Amazing.
I said to my missus, who was sat at the table with me, and my son was there as well, I said, all this stuff which is going to go on, I've decided I'm going to go carnivore. The missus flipped out. What are you going to eat? I said, well, just meat and eggs. She was freaking. What are you going to do for your fibre? What are you going to do for this? What are you going to do for that? What are you going to do? You're going to die. You're going to kill yourself.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous,
Yeah.
She really went for it for ages. I thought, oh, crikey. I said, well, I'm going to do it anyway. I'm going to give it a try. So I decided to give it 90 days, as Dr. Berry said, with beef, bacon, butter, and eggs. I was also eating a little bit of cheese and still drinking milk at the time. I don't anymore, but I was. And I was surprised at how easy it is to do. And the results are off the scale. They are fantastic. It changes your whole life. It's changed me completely. 65-year-old, I've never felt this good in my life. Not maybe it's when I was 20 and I was in the army, I felt all right then, but nothing like this. It's absolutely incredible. Yeah, so I started off eating beef, bacon, butter, and eggs. The first 2 weeks, as I was told, can be a bit rough, but for me, it wasn't that bad. I had diarrhea for 2 days, which, and it's quite bad. It's like a explosive diarrhea, I would call it, and I think a lot of people experience it. And what I reckon it is your gut bacteria is changing, and the old stuff has got to get out, and the new stuff, which eats meat, I don't know if this is right, comes in. Once them 2 days are over, it's so easy. It's just absolute doddle. your body regulates itself. You're not going to the toilet all the time. And you just feel fantastic. So I was doing that, and I got on to getting on for about 2 months into it, and the weight was dropping off like you would not believe. I wasn't exercising. I wasn't going out, bike rides or running or nothing like that. It was just dropping off. Uh, Quite unbelievable. I was changing my clothes. I've had 3 different wardrobes since I started. I was triple XL, and I'm down to small now. It's easy to go into a shop and look at the stuff now and think,
So
"Ooh,
what? So what were you at your heaviest, and what are you now?
I'm 10 stone 10 at the moment, and I was 19 stone.
Wow. And what height?
Uh,
What height? What height?
I'm 6 foot,
Wow.
got
19, 19
5'11", 6 foot,
stone. Wow.
19 stone. I'm a big bloke, but I've been like that all my time, all my life. I was called Big Bill. These Big Bill coming because I was big. I was massive. We certainly don't say that now. After a couple of months, I noticed that my tumor was shrinking. I was thinking that's weird. You would think it would look bigger because my neck was quite big anyway, as it was shrinking down. Uh, a couple of months after that, I was called by the hospital at Leeds to go and have the operation, and they wanted to make an appointment. I said it's gone, and they said what? I said no, it's gone. It's just gone. It's gone. Well, I can't go. I said it's gone. All right.
Wow.
Well, we're not making an appointment. They didn't sort of say, well, that's really interesting. Come on in. We'll see how it's gone. Which you would think if this guy's tumor has gone. How has that happened? It's
Yeah.
through food. It's what you eat. And
Wow.
incredible, absolutely incredible. Went. That was it. That was a
So
couple of months in.
just sorry,
Sorry.
that was a cancerous tumor, correct?
Yeah, Warthin's tumor. It was
Wow.
benign. It wasn't spreading anywhere. It just went.
Wow.
That's the craziest thing I've ever experienced in my life. And you would think the hospitals would say, oh, maybe we should look into this. There's something going on. How can that just go away like that?
Yeah.
But it did. It did. So I'd been on Carnivore a couple of months then. I was still eating cheese and drinking milk. I eat lots of butter as well. And I came across a video of Dr. Berry's actually, which was about milk and dairy, saying how it's not bad for you. It's quite good for you, but it's cow's milk. It's for baby cows. It's not for humans. And I was thinking, yeah, we don't drink human milk. Do you think that was quite disgusting, wouldn't you? Do you have a pint of human milk? No, but we drink cow's milk, but it's for baby cows. So what is in that milk? Fat and lactose, but there's also other stuff in it. There must be hormones in it. There must be enzymes in it. Certain things. Anyway, I found that when I stopped the milk and cheese, but kept the butter because the butter is just the pure fat which is being churned from it. The rest is chucked away. I found out when I stopped dairy, my weight went even quicker. So
Mm.
plummeted really, really fast. And a couple of interesting things happened alongside that. And it was definitely the milk and cheese which was doing it. And that is I don't burn in the sun anymore.
Yeah.
I used to burn in the sun where I could peel my skin off after I'd been in the sun for a couple of hours. I used to think it was because I was fat. The fat underneath my skin is making it. It wasn't. It's something to do with something in the milk and cheese.
Yes.
Something.
Yeah.
It's definitely something in
Mm.
that.
Mm.
So now, when I go in the garden, I put baby oil on. I sit and fry, and I don't burn. It's absolutely incredible.
Amazing. Yeah.
Another thing I noticed when I stopped the milk and cheese, uh, I know you can't, but I've stopped smelling into my armpits because
I know.
my
Yeah.
sweat doesn't smell.
Yeah,
Do
yeah.
you get that?
Yeah, yeah,
It's
yeah. That's all inflammation because you're getting a sugar spike from dairy. So when you remove the dairy, you're removing pretty much the rest of the inflammation of your body. So you're
yeah,
pretty much just living off animal-based food now.
yeah, yeah. I agree with that. I think I had it in my head. It was something to do with something that's in the milk, which is good for baby cows, but
Hmm.
it's not good for humans.
Hmm.
And uh, the sweaty smell is caused by bacteria. It's bacteria
Yes.
which actually smells. It's not your
Hmm.
sweat. So you must be giving off some sort of something in your sweat which
Hmm.
attracts a certain bacteria which smells like that. That's what
Exactly.
does it. And it, it just goes. So I can sweat like hell. Doesn't just just great. Another thing with the milk was dandruff. I always suffered. Oh, it's all my life from dandruff. I've used the Head and Shoulders. I even got special stuff from the doctors. My beard used to have dandruff. Now we're black all the time. And I could sit down and rub my head and I'd be covered like snow. Dandruff gone completely. I'm sure Head and Shoulders or whoever makes it doesn't want to know about this because you can get rid of it. Gone. It takes a couple of months, but it goes. So I've got no flaky skin. I don't get burned in the sun. Got no dandruff. Just it's marvelous. I would never have believed it if somebody had told me, "Look, just stop drinking that milk," and you're like, "Yeah, right." But I've experienced it myself, and it works.
It's amazing, isn't it? Because I love hearing these stories. Like I see this daily on Facebook and Instagram and TikTok. I've been doing this will be my fourth year now doing carnivore.
Oh, good for you.
Um, and everybody has a similar story. We all have a similar story of what we did the calorie diets, we did the yo-yo diets. I was also obese for a long time. I struggled with mental health issues for a long time. And when I came across the carnivore diet, like you, I was like, nah, this is never going to work. And then I had the family giving out to me like, what about cholesterol? What about fat? Like you're going to die of heart disease, all this kind of
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
But like you, I researched this shit for like 6 months. Like
Yes.
I did a lot of research. Now I've been in this fitness game since I was 18. So I'm about 25 years. So I'm coaching nearly 25 years. And
Right.
I used to coach people the low fat diet, the low calorie diet, everything.
Yeah.
And everybody used to always come back to me and say to me, Mark, I look great, but I don't feel great. And I used to always say like, okay, why don't you not feel great if you're losing weight? And in my mind, I was like, okay, this could be a medical problem. So I used to always say to people, okay, listen, I don't know what to do. So you probably just need to go and see your doctor. Because I didn't know any better.
Yeah.
And then when I came across carnivore and I studied this, and not only study it, but the testimonials I was hearing like people like yourself that were coming out reversing their type 2, they beat cancer, women that were struggling with PCOS, like the list goes on and on and on and on and on. It was
Yeah.
just insane. Like I've heard unbelievable stories. I think in the last 4 years, I think I've heard about 500 unbelievable successful stories, and yours is another one. And
Yeah. Yeah.
I just love meeting people like you because everybody is still convinced that this carnivore diet is a fad.
Yeah. I get it all the
And
time.
it's unbelievable because I'm like, unless you try it and unless you actually try it for like 3 months like Bill has done, you'll never understand. Like people will always I get people giving out to me every single day on Instagram. They'll tell me that this study says this study says this study says this. And I'm like, okay, well, I've worked with over 200 people in the last 4 years, and every one of them are carnivore. What other research do you want?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And when people actually hear your story after today, nobody's going to be able to turn around and say, well, his story is fake.
Yeah. That's
You
absolutely
know what I
not.
mean? Because you were
I've lived it.
you're 19 stone, you're 10 stone now. You look amazing.
Thank you.
You don't even look 65. You could easily look, say you look in your 40s. So
There you go.
you look amazing. So it's if anything, when people are talking about it's not healthy, It's actually done wonders for your health.
It has. Oh yeah, it absolutely has. It's completely changed my life, and I expect to live for a long time now. You
Absolutely,
know,
100%.
apart from accidents or
I'd be
anything like that.
pissed. I'd be pissed off if I don't leave until I don't live to about 120.
Yeah, well, that's exactly what I've got in my mind now. Well, maybe to 110, something like. I don't want to go
Yeah, yeah,
too
yeah,
far.
yeah,
But yeah, it's just incredible. And of course, I encourage other people. One of them, my son, is 26-year-old, and I wished I'd known this when I was
yeah,
26-year-old.
yeah.
And of course, he was looking into it with me, and he was always a fat kid, and a poor kid got bullied at school. He won't
Mm,
mind. It doesn't mind me telling you this.
mm.
He got bullied at school before it. He was always the biggest guy there. He went onto the carnivore diet, and he's 10.5 stone now. He was 19 stone as well,
Wow, wow.
10.5 stone, and he's ripped, like ripped, shredded. He doesn't work
Amazing,
out all the time.
amazing.
He does quite a bit, but not like you would expect. You would look at him and think that guy works out a lot.
Yeah.
He doesn't. He just eats meat, and it looks fantastic. And he's had his head shaved, and he's got like a Viking bit on the top, and it looks like, whoa, my god! And he feels great. His self confidence is through the roof, which is for somebody who's grown up like that. People bullying him all the time is absolutely marvelous.
Ah, yeah, yeah.
Absolutely
It's
marvelous. I'm chuffed to
unbelievable.
bits
It's
for him.
great. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah. And that's the biggest struggle we have as parents. Like I'm living with my daughter at the moment, and it's she's 21, and it's extremely hard for me to watch what she's eating.
yeah,
But at the same time, you don't want to come across as a bad parent. You don't want to turn around
yeah,
and say, "Well, listen, stop eating that, stop eating that, stop eating that," because she's an adult now.
yeah, yeah,
And it's very hard to try and get that balance. I think it's a lot easier when they're younger because you can
yeah,
teach them. But I think when they're older, it's different.
yeah,
And when I'm doing the shopping every week, it absolutely kills me that I'm actually buying this food for her.
yeah,
You know what I mean? It really, really hurts me um, because she's looking at me and thinking that he's just crazy. He's just
yeah,
crazy. He's always talking about food. He's always talking about health, and it's just like I'm not really passionate when I'm talking to other people. But when it comes to your family, I think
yeah.
that's when you need to go like balls deep, and you need to do
Yeah,
whatever it takes and try and make it happen.
try to
And
encourage
it's
them.
just, yeah, and it's the same with the parents. Like my parents now are on borderline pre-diabetic because the amount of sugar that they eat is unbelievable, and they drink alcohol on a regular basis. They're at that age. Like
Yeah,
if you speak to them, they'll say to you, okay, well I've lived my life. They're kind of similar, the same age as you, and they'll say, I've lived my life. Now I want to enjoy myself. And they see eating like sugar and drinking
and
alcohol,
drinking it.
yeah, as to say like, okay, now this is my life. Now I'm going to enjoy it. So
Yeah,
they see this as a pleasure in their life, which is very unfortunate because this is the reason why they struggle. They sleep long hours. They're in chronic pain. Like my dad is like in chronic pain. He's in a wheelchair at the moment, and he's only a young man. He's only a
yeah,
young man, and I'm always saying to him like, listen, you don't need to be going to the doctor and being on this medication for the rest of your life because he's on so
so
much
true.
medication. And I'm like, if you just look at your diet and just focus on that first and just focus on the healing process and let's just see what happens. But it just goes in one ear and out the other, and
And I
it's
go,
extremely painful to watch.
yeah, yeah, I know this. I, you know what we're saying about, well, you said about people of my age who, I've heard it umpteen times. Oh, we want to enjoy ourselves now.
Yeah,
I've reached the age and I want to enjoy myself. And they say, everyone is the same. They say enjoying themselves is eating
yeah,
and drinking. That's enjoyment. Well, if that's enjoyment, you've got to think of something else to do, I'm afraid, because
yes,
that's killing you.
yeah,
It's not enjoyable at all. And it's only when you've tried a different way of living and a different way of eating, like we do, that you realize that that is not, you're actually killing yourself slowly. So
mm,
you've got to stop it. But I have the same struggle as you. My missus she sits down at the dinner table with me. She still eats lots and lots of carbs. she eats like what she considers a normal diet, what I
Mm,
used to consider a normal diet.
mm,
And I try to sort of encourage her to like cut down on the processed foods or cut down on, little bits and pieces, eat more protein, trying to gradually get her into it. But the addiction is too much.
mm,
It is, and it's a definite addiction, and
mm.
people just can't break it. And they can't see, even though she sits in front of me and she has done for 2.5 years, watching me change, watching me completely change my life, all through food. She just she just won't.
And is
And
and
then,
isn't it amazing when we see people that have addiction problems like gambling, alcohol, drugs? We do whatever it takes to try and help these people and try and get them off it as quick as possible. But
yeah,
when it comes to sugar addiction and food addiction, we're told that okay, just eating it in moderation is perfectly fine.
phew, absolutely not. Sugar, coming off sugar was worse than coming off alcohol for
Yeah.
me. It is crazy. The cravings when you give up sugar. If anybody's watching this and is thinking they're not addicted to sugar,
Mm.
try giving it up for 3 days.
Yes.
3 days, and you will very quickly find out just how addicted you are to it.
100%.
But
The side effects from coming off sugar is unbelievable.
yeah,
It took me nearly 4 months to come off sugar.
yeah, it's crazy, isn't it?
4 months. I couldn't give it up. And the last thing that came off my list, because I was convinced it was healthy, no matter what anybody else told me, because this is what I was taught for years, was the fruits and vegetables.
Yeah, yeah. I always thought that
I couldn't give them up, no matter what.
because you've been told all your life. I was
Yeah,
told all my life that's healthy. Well, you
yeah,
should be eating your fruit. It's really, really healthy. It's packed full of vitamin C. It's packed full of this, packed full of that.
yeah.
It's actually not. It
And
might have it in there, but your body cannot absorb it and
mm,
use it as a nutrient or very little of it. If you
exactly.
want all the vitamins and minerals, eat meat, and it's
Yes.
bioavailable. Your gut turns it straight into what it needs.
Hmm.
It's like
You don't get any nutritional value whatsoever in eating plants. Nothing.
no, no, no. I've come to believe that, and I've come to believe that plants are actually trying to. They don't go out of the way to try and hurt you, but of course they have defense chemicals in them
Yes.
to
Yeah.
stop things eating them, stop
Hmm.
us eating them.
Hmm.
And these defense chemicals make us really, really ill. You know, it
So
takes a long
why
time.
so why do you think that when we hear the constant narrative from PTs, nutritionists, dietitians, doctors, everybody will advocate that we should be eating more fiber?
Yeah, I do. No, well, we definitely should not. It's like eating. That'd be like. Well, it is. It is like eating sawdust. It's
Yes.
basically sawdust, cellulose, isn't it?
Yeah.
And it
Your body can't break it down.
no. So it passes. It passes straight through, and on its way through, I think in the lower gut, it 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 shards your intestine. It
Mm.
cuts it in little tiny cuts and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And you're told to by everyone to fill up on this stuff all the time. So it's in a constant movement through you, and it shouldn't be. I go to the loo maybe once every 3 days, it, and it just passes great. There's no, I, I don't need fiber. You don't need fiber
No.
at all. It's
No.
not essential. You do not need it. And
Yeah.
everybody tells you to eat it because we've been
Yeah, like
told we should.
everybody keeps on telling me because I'm on a high fat diet, you must be clogged up. You're like
Uh,
you can't go to the toilet. I'm like it's far from the truth. I go to
yeah,
the toilet quite easy. It's like in the toilet, I'm in and out within 2 seconds.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, me too. And if people think you get constipated, I've found if you think you haven't been for a few days, eat a load of butter. It
Yes.
very, very quickly comes out. The more butter you eat, the quicker it comes
Yeah,
out.
the fats is the most important part. This is where we went wrong with Atkins like a few years ago.
Yeah,
Everybody was convinced that okay, if you just go on a high protein diet, you'll lose the weight. But everybody did lose the weight, but they felt like shit.
yeah, because it was just because people had told them to cut the fat off,
Yes,
which is the most important part. It's got
exactly.
all the taste in it. It's got the energy in fat is crazy, isn't it?
And the
I
thing
eat,
is, sorry, and the thing is, like we're like people need to understand this. Like we've got two energy sources. We can't rely off protein because protein is not a great substrate for energy.
No.
We can rely on carbohydrates and we can rely on fats. The difference is one is essential and the other one isn't. And when we look at what's happening at the moment, in the last 50 years, we've been following the government's advice: low calorie, low fat, eat more carbohydrates, follow the food pyramid, eat more vegetables. But you look at the numbers now, they're still going up and up and up. So
Yeah.
if the numbers are still going up, like obesity, diabetes, all these metabolic diseases, you know what I mean? And then we're at a situation now where obesity is getting out of control. Nobody has the answers. Nobody has the answers. And they think they were smart by bringing out a weight loss injection. Surely that's not the only solution that we have.
Yeah.
And this is
It's
where
certainly.
we're going wrong, because it's amazing. You can actually bring your dog to a vet and the vet will turn around and say to you, hang on a second, what's that dog eating?
Eating, yeah.
You know what I mean? And then
Yeah.
and then after that, then it's like, okay, well, if if a vet can turn around and say to you, what's that dog eating? Why can't we not do that with a human being?
Yeah. The doctors. Why doesn't the
You know
doctor
what I
say,
mean?
"Oh, what you eating?" That would
I'm
do
gonna be
it,
back
wouldn't
to you in 1 second. I just need to send one quick message. Okay, back in a second.
it? No problem, Mark.
Now, sorry about that. I needed to send a message there.
No worries, Mark.
Okay, so yeah, it's just amazing how we can actually bring a dog to a vet and they'll turn around and say, well, listen, I need to know what that dog's eating. But when you go and see a doctor, they won't turn around and say, they won't ask you any questions about your nutrition. They'll just say,
Yeah.
okay, listen, just take this medication. And wasn't it amazing that when we went through COVID, you didn't even get to see a doctor? They
Yeah.
prescribed you. They actually prescribed you over the phone.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And now they're talking about that in the next 2 years they're bringing out AI, so you won't even need to go and see a doctor. It'll just be done. It'll be all done over the computer. Absolutely
Oh,
incredible. Incredible.
yeah. 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 It is. I'll tell you a story about my doctors. My missus had been to see the doctor. We live in a small village. The doctors are very easy to see, and she said she went had a blood work done and stuff like that. And she was talking to the nutritionist, and she was telling him that I'm carnivore. And he said, "Oh, that'd be great. I'd like to meet him." I thought, "Oh, that might be interesting. A nutritionist who actually wants to speak about carnivore." So I went to see him, and I went to see him because I wanted some blood tests doing. I wanted a CAC score, which in England you can't get. I don't know if you can get it in Ireland, but have you ever? Uh, we wouldn't do a CAC score, and I wanted a fasting insulin score. But I was told the doctors don't. They don't do all that. But they, they give me a blood test anyway. Anyway, when I was telling him what I eat, the guy was nearly freaking out because he was a nutritionist and he'd been taught about, you need your fiber and you need your fruit and you need this and you need that. And he was incredulous. He just could not believe what I was telling him. He said, "You don't eat any fruit at all?" No. He was saying one of the doctors there was keto. So he said, "Oh, you get on well with her." But it turned out, although she was keto, she was advising keto. She wasn't a big advocate of herself. When I got my blood results back, uh, she actually phoned me up. I've never actually spoken to this doctor before. And I was driving along and she phoned up. "Oh, hello, Mr. Adams. It's Dr. whatever it is." "Yes." She said, "I've had your blood results back." And she was really having a good go at me. "Everything was fine, but your cholesterol is the
Yeah.
highest I've
Yeah.
ever seen.
Yeah.
And the only reason I'm phoning you up is to cover my own back."
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I said, "Oh, so you're not concerned about me. You're concerned about covering your own back."
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh, and that's all she was doing. So my cholesterol I don't know how they must measure it the same in Ireland as they do here. My cholesterol was 20.2, which is pretty high, I would think. And my LDL was 16. And she says, you've got to bring that down. We're going to put you on statins. We're going to do this. And we're going to do that. We're going to do it. And I said, well, you're not. I expected my cholesterol to be high. I said, in fact, I told the nutritionist that my cholesterol will be high.
Yeah.
So expect it when you see it. I said, so I have no problems at all with that. And she says, well, she actually said to me, you should be dead right now. Or you should be in hospital on a drip with statins. I said, well, I've never felt so good in my life. I've lost loads of weight and I just feel great. So I'm not taking any advice off you at all. I'm certainly not taking statins.
Mm-hmm.
So after that, she asked me if I would do another blood test in 3 months' time and see if I can take it down by some other means. And I was like, yeah, whatever. So the way I think about cholesterol is it's like a Pac-Man. Fat goes into it and it grabs all of it and takes it where it wants to be.
Mm-hmm.
It gives it to your body, it distributes it to your body. So it's like a little postman taking stuff around and giving you all the energy. So when you're on a carnivore diet, you're going to have more cholesterol because it's taken fat everywhere. That's what you're using
Yes.
as fuel,
Mm-hmm.
you know? So your cholesterol will go up. So I did go back for the 3 month thing, and I thought, oh, I'll try something different this time. I'd been watching somebody called Nick Norowitz who'd been eating
Yes. The
uh,
eggs.
Oreo cookies,
Yeah.
brought his cholesterol down. I thought, oh, I wonder if like some sort of carbs or something might make a difference.
Yeah.
So it was either one of two things. The cholesterol did go down a lot. So it was one of two things. It was either I ate a spoonful of honey for a week before I went for my other test, just a teaspoonful. Doesn't taste great when you're a carnivore. The other thing was the first time I went, I'd fasted for 24 hours. Not because I was thinking I'll be clever and I'll fast for 24 hours, because I wasn't hungry on the night time. And sometimes I just don't eat. You know, I'm sure you do as well. So I'd fasted for 24 hours. The second time I went, I thought, no, I'll not do a 24-hour fast. I'll just eat on the night time. So it was 12 hours between that. When I went back and had me test done again, my cholesterol was down to 11. So in 3 months, it had gone from 20 to 11. Doctor phoned me up again. Oh, Mr. Adams, your cholesterol's gone down. I said, yes, it has. Well, we need to get it further down. I said, what? I've almost halved it in 3 months just by either one of two things. So I'll not have anything else to do with the
It's
doctor,
it's
to
it's
be honest.
crazy, isn't it? It's crazy because I hear this all the time. I like when I put women on a high fat diet, and they look amazing, they feel amazing, and they go back to the doctor and everything's perfect. The blood work, everything's perfect. But the one thing that comes up, and the highest I've had, I think I had a client on, I think she was around 23 or 24, and the
That would be
doctor
me.
and the doctor was like, "Oh my God, we need to get you into an ambulance. You're gonna have a heart
Yeah,
attack any minute
yeah,
now." And she was like, "Doctor, I feel amazing. Like,
yeah,
look at me. I've lost so much weight." And this woman was obese. Like she was carrying a lot of weight at the very beginning, and
yeah.
not one doctor could come up with a solution. She was told 8 months before before she met me that her only solution was surgery or being put on Ozempic. 8 months
Right,
later, she went back to the same doctor.
right.
The doctor didn't even recognize her. Right? Went in, got the blood test done, absolutely perfect. But he looked at the cholesterol. He said, "Your cholesterol's too high. What are you doing?" He says, "Doctor, I'm on a high fat diet. You need to get off that diet very quickly because it's going to kill you."
And that's what they believe. They very strongly believe it as well. You
It's
know, you
crazy.
can
Absolutely crazy.
even when you've explained to them, or they can't explain. You can't explain to my doctors because they think they know it all. but they never. If they don't know anything about cholesterol, what else don't they know about me? What I'm doing? They don't know
And
nothing, and they
see,
won't sit and listen.
cholesterol is vital for the body. It's vital for healing. And
Yeah,
I'm convinced if these doctors knew this information, our health system wouldn't be on its knees at the moment.
yeah. So yeah, I I agree with you wholeheartedly there.
I think a lot of people would be actually thriving at the moment, and it actually upsets me that when we see people that are younger than you and
Yeah,
they're in hospitals and they're in a very, very bad way.
yeah, yeah. It, I I really just wish people would give this a, give this a try. If they're
Yeah.
feeling like I used to, or living the lifestyle like I used to, I'm living proof that it works, and it
Mm.
works brilliantly.
Yes.
You don't have to do anything. It doesn't cost you any money. You don't have to join this, and you don't have to join that. You know, it's so easy. It's
And
just incredible.
it's amazing, Bill, that you took your time out your day to come on because I really appreciate it because this is what we need to do. We just need to keep spreading this message.
Yeah,
Like if you keep it to yourself, like I always said, like this lifestyle has done amazing things for me, and I'm not going to keep it to myself. Other people need
no,
to know about this.
yeah, I know, absolutely. I'd love to be able to help as many people as I could. A couple of my mates have tried it with fantastic results, the same
Mm,
results as what I've had,
mm,
which is really, I'm chuffed to bits. I'm chuffed to bits for them, you know.
mm.
They've given it a go. They'll try it for 3 months. In fact, nobody I know who's tried it for at least 3 months goes back to eating carbs. They just won't, you know.
Well, I have a few people that I know in the carnivore space that do a lot of podcasts. I'm actually going to tell them about your story. I'm going to tell
Right?
them how much weight you lost. You're actually a cancer survivor. They're not going to believe it, and they're going to want to hear your story.
Yeah,
They're gonna be like, okay, listen, we need to get this guy on, and we need to speak about this because I know after this podcast today, this is going to reach. If this reaches just one person
yeah,
that was in the same situation, that's currently in the same situation as you, and
yeah,
feels like there's no hope. There's absolutely no hope. I'm in the doctor's hands for the rest of my life. I want
yeah,
people to actually listen to this podcast because
yeah,
that's how important it is.
yeah. Oh, it is. It is very, very, very important. And if I could encourage just one person to try it, try it. It'll change your life.
100%. So what does a typical day of eating look like at the moment? And so are you eating 2 meals a day or are you eating 1 meal a day? What are you doing at the moment?
At the moment, it's pretty much 2 meals a day. I get up. I've turned I've turned into an early riser. I go to bed early and I get up early. I'm in bed at 9:30 at night time, and I'm up at 5:30 in the morning, ready to start my day. And I used to be the sort of person who would lie in bed forever, as long as I could, and wait until the last second to get up before I went and put my clothes on and got up and went to work. But now I'm up at 5:30 and I'm ready for the day. I'm
Yeah, yeah,
feeling great,
yeah, yeah.
singing and going. I'll have a steak then, a pound of steak, and so it's not half a pound of butter; it's a quarter of a pound of butter because butter comes in half-pound chunks. In it, slice one of them in half, and I'll eat the butter with my steak, and then I'll have the same 6 o'clock on the night. That's
Amazing.
it.
That's pretty much it. So it's just pretty much
It's just meat at
red
the moment.
meats,
Mm.
eggs, and that's pretty much it.
Red meat and eggs. Occasionally, I'll have calf's liver because that's it's like when people go on about superfoods, I think liver is the superfood because
Mm.
it's full of every vitamin that you can possibly imagine. So I get a lot of liver in and some eggs. Sometimes I won't have steak. I'll have uh, minced beef, high fat minced beef, uh, which tastes fantastic, but it's cheap as chips. It just
Mm.
depends how much money I've got that week, I
Mm.
suppose. It's normally 2 steaks a day, and sometimes, like I said before, I'm not even hungry and I just skip meals.
Mm. Mm.
I've tried fasting with while I'm on carnivore, and it works like absolute magic.
Easy, isn't it? It's very, very easy to
Um,
do fasting when
um,
you're a carnivore lifestyle.
well, compared to what it was when I tried it when I was
Yeah,
on
carbohydrates.
carbs.
Yeah,
Oh, you can do. I could do this for I don't know, weeks, I suppose.
easy,
Just not
easy.
eat.
Yeah,
Easy.
easy. Yeah, yeah. I'm the
So,
same. Like I'm the same as you. I go to bed at 9 o'clock pretty much most nights, and I wake up. I wake up at every morning without fail at 3:30. I only need about 6 hours sleep, and the minute I wake up, I'm ready to go. Like I'm ready to go. And the gym doesn't open until 6 a.m. and I'm waiting for 3 hours to go to the gym. I'm like, oh come on, I'm dying to go to the
just
gym.
like,
You know what I mean? And during that time, like I'm just meditating. I'm just taking in a few things. I'm doing a few errands. I'm doing a little bit of work. And I'm not thinking about food at all.
no,
And then I go to the gym. I do a good workout for like 40 minutes. And again, when I'm finished, I'm still not thinking about food. I'm absolutely fine because
yeah,
the night before I had a good feast. Like
yeah,
I'll eat a good meal before I go to bed. And I probably won't eat a meal the next day until around 12 o'clock. Now
yeah,
I've been up since 3 o'clock in the morning. So
yeah,
you're talking nearly 8 hours since I've had any food. And during that time, I've done a bit of work. I've gone to the gym. I've walked the dog. I've done loads of stuff. So I've been on the move constantly. If you had said that to me, like, say, 10 years ago when I was eating carbohydrates, I wouldn't last two
you
hours.
wouldn't be able to do it. No, no, you wouldn't.
No. And I would
And
have struggled, and I would have struggled to get up out of bed at 3 a.m. as well.
yeah, yeah, absolutely. That was
It's
the middle of the
incredible.
night for me. Yeah, yeah, it is. It's really, 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 really strange. It's odd being getting up in the morning and being awake and wanting to do stuff.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
start
Yeah.
work
Yeah.
as well, you know.
Yeah.
Oh, I'll fill this in, I'll do that, and I'll potter around. Absolutely incredible. I've
Yeah.
completely changed my life. Completely changed it,
Absolutely. Yeah, yeah.
which
It's
is
just
fantastic.
honestly, it's just amazing. It really is. It's just honestly these stories. Every time I hear them, I'm like, wow. It's just,
How many people do
I
you?
just. Sorry, go ahead.
How many people do you reckon you've helped, Mark?
And I've done carnivore now 4 years now. I've been carnivore 4 years, and I've been coaching carnivore for 4 years, and I've worked with over 250 people, and
Well,
every single one of them are on a high fat diet. Every single one.
good for you, my friend.
And
Well done.
I've had people that were literally on the brink of suicide.
Yeah,
I've had people that were that they were struggling to have a baby. Like I had
right.
so many females come to me and said to me that my doctor told me I will never have a baby unless I go down the IVF route. Crazy
Yeah,
shit. And they were saying
yeah,
that it would talk around it would they're talking around £15,000, €15,000 to have a baby. Absolutely fucking insane. Insane.
yeah.
I worked with these people for about 8 months, got them on a high fat diet, fixed their hormones. Within 3 months, this is no word of a lie, these will tell you this themselves. Within 3 months, they're getting back to me and saying to me, Mark, it's a miracle. We're going to have a baby.
Oh, that's
It's honestly, it's just
that's incredible, isn't it?
incredible. It's incredible. And I'm looking at this and I'm like, I'm not a doctor. I've never claimed I'm a doctor. I don't have a PhD. You know what I mean? But how do I know this stuff
Yeah.
when these people
Why don't
don't?
they know it? Why don't they
Exactly.
know it?
What and
It's
why don't they not ask me questions?
yeah.
Like
Well, you
when I went through my ordeal, like
yeah.
I said, I was like you, I was obese. I'm only 5'3". I played rugby at a good level for 7 years. I blew up. I'm at my heaviest. I was around 22, maybe 24 stone. I was a big
Oh,
guy.
crikey.
I was huge,
Well, you're
huge.
looking good now, my friend. Look at that.
Yeah, I was huge. Um,
Oi.
and I'm 52 now.
All right. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Um, and
You're looking good.
I blew
Looking
up like
good.
24 stone, and I was a big guy, huge guy. And I'm sure you know when you go into rugby school, they teach you everything about discipline and how to build muscle and how to pack
Yeah.
on as much mass as possible. And I was just getting fed pretty much every 2 hours, and I was working with some top coaches, like really top coaches, and they were telling me like the staple of your diet. is going to be carbohydrates. So you're going to be eating a lot of carbohydrates. So like rice, but all good carbohydrates.
Yeah.
Good carbohydrates. So like sweet potato, rice, fruits, vegetables, like loads and loads of good carbohydrates. And every year I kept on putting on weight. Every year. And I wasn't feeling good at all. And it affected my mental health really
Yeah.
badly. I fell into depression. I was suicidal a few times,
Oh,
and
sorry
I
about
was on the verge because at that stage I tried every single diet, you name it, every diet that you can possibly think of, I tried it,
that.
and I could never fix the problem. And I was like, okay, I really don't want to go down this route of going to see the doctor and being put on antidepressants, but I mightn't have any choice because I just don't feel good at all. And there was one day about 4 years ago, I listened to a podcast. It changed my life, and it wasn't Ken Berry, it was somebody else, and they were talking about the carnivore diet.
Yeah.
And the more I kept on listening to it, I was like, no, this doesn't make any sense. This
Yeah.
does not make any sense. Like eating meat for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
I don't think so. So I went away and I said, right, I'm actually going to learn about this. I'm going to study it. I'm going to learn more about it. And I came across like you, Ken Berry, Dr. Shafee, Dr.
Yeah.
Kiltz. The list
Yeah.
goes on and on and on. And I like I said, I studied this for 6 months. And I said, right, if I'm actually going to coach this, then I need to do it myself.
Yeah.
So I did it for 2 weeks. Within 2 weeks, no, what it wasn't 2 weeks, it was actually 1 week. Within 1 week, my mental health issues were gone. My digestive issues were gone. The weight was coming off me easily. Easily.
Yeah. Yeah.
I wasn't even trying. It was coming
Yeah.
off me easily. And now I'm walking around with a six pack every single day. I look
Yeah.
incredible. I eat so much food. I don't even track my food anymore now. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Just eat when you're hungry. That's it.
I don't count calories. I don't do any of that shit. I just basically eat until I'm full. And I look better now than I did 20 years ago. And I'm like, holy shit.
Yeah. That's yeah.
It's just incredible. And I'm
It
like,
is.
okay, more people need to hear about this.
Yeah.
And I'm just convinced that if we actually teach our doctors this, I just believe our health system, well, the numbers will keep on going down every year.
But I'm convinced that they would. I'm sure that the NHS would spring back to spring back to life because most of it's spent on people who've got diabetes, isn't it?
And see,
Or
the problem is,
complications thereof.
see, the problem is, Bill, they won't do that because this is what it's all about.
Yeah.
It's all
Well,
about the money.
you've got the drug companies, haven't you? And you've got the
Yeah.
drug companies and the doctors, and everybody's making money. As soon as everybody's making money, it's like, well, don't tell them
Wait.
about the easy way out of that. No.
So isn't it disgraceful? These people are actually getting richer while you're getting sicker.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's disgraceful.
Yeah, yeah.
And something needs to be done about it because it can't go on like this.
I wonder what I wonder what it would take to change the mainstream thoughts on it. It's going to come, I would think, but it's going to take something to happen. I don't know, something to happen.
Well, I'm hoping it does. But if you're asking me, will it happen? I don't think it will. Because
No,
if you look at what's going on in the world at the moment, they're trying to change our cattle. They're trying to change our food.
yeah,
They're trying to get rid of the sun. It's frightening. Absolutely
it is.
frightening. They're telling us that, okay, listen, you don't need to eat animal meat anymore. Turn towards veganism.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's scary, isn't it?
And when you look at vegan food, I don't know if you walk in the supermarket and you turn the packet around. The amount of ingredients
Oh,
that are in these foods
which you
is
don't even know what
insane. It's
you don't
insane.
even know what half it is. Is it like got huge, big, long names, and you think, oh, what the hell is that? No,
They'll say to you, you can't eat a burger that only has one ingredient in it, but you can have a vegan burger and you could have a list of ingredients in it that you've never even heard of.
yeah,
It's
and
madness, absolute
it,
madness.
it is madness. What do you think about the Ozempic thing? What people are doing at the
Oh,
moment?
it's terrible, isn't it? It really is. It's terrible. And
Do you know any?
you know what's frightening? Because I heard it in your country actually. Because I was actually looking at it the other day. They're talking about it. They're talking about it, giving it to kids as young as 6.
Oh, they don't even know what it does. They don't even know what the long-term effects of this are. And just by looking at people, I don't know, you obviously see people like celebrities not on the telly with,
Mm.
oh yeah, I'm on Ozempic. You think, oh shit, you don't look very,
Mm.
you look ill. You want to
Yes.
stop that.
Because the one thing you don't want to be doing, Bill, when you get older, is you don't want to be losing muscle mass.
No, absolutely not.
And you look at these people that are getting older, you think about sarcopenia, all these kind of things, and they're losing unbelievable amount of weight, but they've lost the muscle. They've
Yeah, they
lost the
lost the
muscle.
muscle.
And these people are not even eating. I've heard people that they're losing so much weight and they've lost their appetite.
Yeah, yeah.
It's
And
it's crazy.
they're not getting the nutrients that their
No.
bodies require to keep them alive. They're just not, which is why they look so ill.
And
It's funny you do.
when we look at
So
the obesity crisis at the moment, like you mentioned at the very, very beginning, everybody's convinced that if you're obese, you just need to go on a low calorie diet. But that's where we're going
yeah,
wrong.
that's
That's where we're going
and
wrong.
and most people will tell you that it's actually your fault. Like,
Yes.
you're
Yeah.
fat
You're
because you
not.
eat too much.
Yeah. You're
No,
not. So no. Everybody tells you that you eat too much, but they
yeah,
won't. They won't explain to you why you're eating too much.
yeah, because you're addicted because of sugar and because of the
Exactly.
carbohydrates and because of what the food companies are putting into it. I've got another one for you. A friend I used to play ukulele with a while ago. His name's Derek, and he worked for who makes Kit Kats, the company that makes Kit Kats. He worked for them, but he was a chemist. He wasn't only a chemist; he was the manager of the chemists. And I said, Derek, why do you need chemists to make Kit Kats? He said, oh, it's all about the sugar. So
Wow.
so they have a team of chemists working there to make food. You think, well, you don't need chemistry to make food. Food's food, you know.
Mm.
Just, but that's all these big food companies use chemists and people like that to make the foods so palatable you can't stop eating them. And
Mm.
that was it. That was his job. Yeah, unfortunately.
And do you get frustrated talking to people about this? Do you find like
Yeah,
when they're going against you and they're saying like, listen, you're talking rubbish. We need to follow the food pyramids. This we need to
yeah,
follow the government's guidelines. We need to follow the doctor's guidelines. Do you ever get frustrated?
yes, all the time because I know that this works and I've proved it.
Yeah.
So it's really frustrating when people just block off. They don't want to know.
Mm.
I, People my age as well, because they've got to that stage, what we were just saying before, where they think to themselves, I'm going to enjoy myself. I'm going to enjoy the rest of my life.
Mm.
Well, and I think, yeah, you enjoy the rest of your life, but it's going to be quite short.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, you're going
Yeah.
to enjoy it for 2 years and then you're going to get ill.
And
It's like,
I just find it incredible that you get one shot in life and you think the role of happiness is just eating sugar.
yeah, yeah, well, it's absolutely not. But that's what people think. Yeah,
And it's such a shame that people think that if I just need to be happy, I need to make sure I have sugar in my life at some stage at all times. And it's
uh,
crazy because if you're going away on holidays, this is what people think about. They just think about alcohol. They think about just eating crap, and
yeah,
then they come back even worse, and then
yeah,
they get upset because they put on too much weight. Why can't you not just go on holidays and just enjoy your time with your
yeah,
loved ones, and that's it? That's it.
yeah. That that would be great, wouldn't it?
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's just
absolutely.
so if anybody's listening to this and you want to give them a final message, what would it be?
Uh, I would say try this lifestyle for 3 months. Do your research first. Get it all in your head. Find out what insulin does. Find out what's causing you to be, what's causing you to feel like this, and think there is a way out. There is a way out. All you've got to do is eat meat and
Mm,
drink water.
yeah,
That's it. You'll never be happier in your life, and you'll live a long, long time.
Yeah, and that's why
Although
that's why hormones, like you said, insulin is very, very important. The likes of insulin, leptin, cortisol, these are
yeah,
all important. It's not about calories. Calories is
no,
rubbish.
there's no such thing as calories. You should not count them at all.
Yeah,
I, I, I put a Facebook post on a while ago on the Carnivore tribe page where I broke down what I was eating. And I'm actually into calorie terms. If I did count calories, I was eating 6,500 calories a day. With the butter and the meat, and you mention it, and people go, "Oh, crazy! You can't eat that much." But I, you must know yourself. If you're eating half a pound of butter and two steaks, it's it's a lot of calories if you count
yeah,
the
yeah,
calories
yeah,
like
yeah,
that.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
But they think, oh no, you've got to be down to like 1,500 calories. Lot of rubbish.
Every-
Eat, just eat when you're hungry.
exactly.
Don't eat when
And
you're not.
do you have any pictures of you, Bill, when you were actually overweight?
Yeah, well, I've gotten on with my shirt off. I must admit, because I never used to
No,
take my
because
shirt off.
no, because I want to put it on the thumbnail, so when people actually see your podcast, I'm gonna put a before and after picture, as the
But
main. So when
yeah,
people
yeah,
actually come into the podcast, they'll actually see your before and after picture.
yeah.
So that'd be great if you have like a picture that you used that when you were actually
Yeah, I'll
at
send
your
you.
worst, and then a picture of you right now. That would be amazing.
Yeah, I've got a couple of my son. I'm sure he'd be all right with it as well. I'll send you them over, no problem.
And I'd love to have him on. I'd love to have him on if you'd like to come on.
Well, I'm sure he would. I'm sure he would.
I'd
It,
definitely like to hear his story.
it's interesting. It's interesting seeing a young person who's done it, and
Absolutely,
the
absolutely,
difference it's made to them, especially after all the crap that he went through to now.
absolutely. Yeah.
I was going to ask you a question, Mark, before you go. Is the women that are eating a high fat diet, is it d- does it balance the hormones of these women real quick?
I see with women. Women do a lot better on high fats. Men do
All right,
better on high protein.
all right,
The reason for that is because we know with women, they're they're a little bit more complicated than men.
yeah, yeah.
So the hormones are like you've got the hormones, the menstrual cycle. There's so many other factors that come into play when it comes to women. It's not just about losing weight for women. You have to focus on
It's,
so much
for,
more. So
so I
so
suppose
I've
they've got to get the hormones leveled first, and then
yes,
everything
yeah.
else happens.
So when I typically when I work with a female, percentage wise in like food wise, around 70% of their overall food intake will come from fats at the very, very
But
beginning, and they'll
yeah,
only eat like around 30% protein minimum.
uh,
And then as they get leaner and they look amazing, I'll flip those macros around. I'll bring the fats down a small bit. I'll increase the protein because at that stage they're building muscle because we know we
uh,
need we need we need
we need,
protein to build muscle.
yeah,
But yeah, to get everything functioning, because the one thing I'm pretty sure you know this, when you do carnivore, it's about the healing process first. You got to get the
yeah,
body to heal properly.
yeah. It's got to. Yeah, I believe that you've got to. Your body balances itself first with
Yeah,
all the different things, and
and
then
yeah, and that's where the fats come in. The fats is
yeah,
extremely important to keep your fats high to get, because with men, I hear it all the time. Their testosterone drops when they get to 40, 50 years of age, and then they rely on TRT. But if you just flip it around a small bit and say, okay, well, what's happening? The reason why your testosterone is very, very low is because you're on a shit diet. You're eating too many
yeah,
carbohydrates. If we get rid of the carbohydrates and put you on a high fat diet at the very, very beginning, your testosterone is going to go through the roof. Like
yeah, through the
I've had men in their early 40s that they've lost their libido. They've lost it. They go to the doctor and they're like, okay, I've lost my libido. Um, what can you do for me? And the doctor just wants to just throw medication at
just
them.
yeah,
But when I increase their fats, within 2 months, their libido is back to normal easily.
yeah. I know, right. The only reason I'm asking is my missus is, I keep trying to encourage her, but she doesn't. She reckons she can't eat so much protein. She
Mm.
doesn't want to eat meat all the time. And I've been telling her, oh, well, women need to eat more fat,
Or fats, yeah,
actually.
yeah, yeah.
Uh, so, but that's really interesting. There's sort of a 70-30 split with the fat and the
Yeah,
protein. I'll
yeah,
explain that to her because she's past menopause now, but she was menopausal, and it's weird to watch your missus going through something where it drives them absolutely
yeah.
crazy,
And
makes them
see,
feel ill.
if she's going through menopause, it's important that she needs to be eating regularly throughout the day.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? But it has to be a higher fat content. Has to be definitely has to be higher fat,
yeah,
because
absolutely.
that's when she'll lose the weight. She'll feel absolutely amazing. Everything will be functioning the way it's meant to function, and she's gonna look and feel a lot younger.
Yeah, I know. It's just persuading her.
Yeah, I know. Keep at it, Bill. Keep at it. Don't give up. Don't give up.
Well,
Well, Bill, it's been an absolute pleasure, and I'll be definitely in touch with you in the next couple of days to see if your son will be interested in coming on. And I'll also be in touch with you in the next week or so, and I'll actually get you on a different podcast if you're interested. But yeah,
yeah,
it's been an absolutely amazing story. I'm gonna tell people your story after this. And yeah, keep spreading the message.
fantastic. Yeah, it's been brilliant. It's been really nice talking to you, man.
All
I
right,
enjoyed it.
and I'll speak to you very, very soon.
Excellent. Thank you, Mark.
Speak soon. Bye bye.
Cheers. Bye.